Countyfairgrounds and Cool K here. Do I have Mark Byrne, the balloon guy, in line?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing. Hey, I'm looking at your website. You got some really fancy critters there. How did you ever learn how to do this stuff?
Well, I learned from a friend of mine that had 3 Guinness Book of World Records for speed making balloons. He used to work in the fair and festival circuit, and his name was Windy Doughton. And he was the one that first taught me balloons. And when he taught me balloons, I was like 26 years old, and I was a bartender doing magic tricks behind a bar. And started doing, like magic shows for like families and stuff. And he goes, well, you need to learn how to do balloons. And I go, I hate kids. Why would I do that? So fast forward 35 years later, that's what I do.
You didn't like kids?
I was 26 years old. Name any male 26 years old that likes kids.
What? Are you a married man, Mr. Mark?
I am a married man of 33 years now, yes.
Okay, and what age did you get married? I'm curious.
Well, 33 minus, I don't even know when I got married.
Do you have any kids?
29, and yes, I do have 2 lovely daughters.
Okay. All right.
One's 28 years old. The other one's 26 years old. My 28-year-old has my first grandchild, which is Luna. She's a cutie pie, and she's a year and 2 months old right now. And she lives up in Indiana. And my other daughter lives in Colorado, and she's a ski lift operator, and she controls half the mountain at Keystone.
That's impressive. Did you ski?
I used to ski years ago, but that was when I lived up in New York State. I lived near Hunter Mountain up there, and we used to go skiing at Hunter Mountain, Wyndham Mountain, and all those places, and do dumb teenage stuff on skis.
Okay, so what do your daughters think of your career?
I think they enjoy what I do. I've never really pushed them into what I do, but they have also learned how to make balloons and face paint and do magic shows and things like that. So they I didn't like I said, never forced them to do it. They said, hey, Dad, can I do that with you? I'm like, sure, come on, let's do it. And then I did it. So both my daughters went in different career paths. My oldest daughter is now a mother, and that's what she does primarily, is mothering. But before that, she was one of the number one Paychex customer service people. Paychex is a huge multinational company. And she used to train all the other people on how to do customer service and stuff. Okay.
Well, you're talking to a person who used to run a bounce house business for a few years, and I also was a face painter. So I get where you're coming from.
Yep, everybody's done pretty well with it. So I'm very proud of my children and what they've done, and hopefully they're proud of me and what I do for a living.
Okay, so you're behind the bar. You're making these balloon critters. I would love to have seen the patrons' faces as you made balloon critters behind the bar, by the way.
Demoted. I got weirdly demoted. So there was 2 bars in the hotel I worked at. Okay, there was the upstairs bar, which overlooked the beach and was very beautiful on Treasure Island, and then there was the downstairs pool bar. But the whoever designed where the pool bar was not very bright, because he didn't make the pool bar face the pool, which would make total sense. The pool bar was around the corner from the pool. So people didn't know there was a pool bar. They knew where the pool was. They could see that, but they had no idea where the bar was, right? So when I got kind of demoted and said, oh, well, we're going to put you downstairs at the beach bar, they thought I'd quit because it would be really terrible and wouldn't be making as much money. So what I did was I would shut the register, turn the key, grab a tray, run around the rim of the pool and ask people if they wanted drinks. And they go, well, I don't have any money on me. I go, I can charge it to your room. So that bar that was making $50 a day went up to making well over $1,000 a day.
Oh.
From me just hustling. And then I started to get a lot of regulars that would like to come in and watch me do magic at the bar, because it was just me. So it's like I had nobody else to compete with. I didn't have to, compete with the good-looking bartender or the guy that knew all the sports stuff. It was just my bar. Even though I was working for a major corporation. I was working for Holiday Inn. And yeah, I did really well with it. I started making balloons behind the bar, and the kids would come out of the sun to come and get a balloon animal, and people would tip me really good. And yeah, I made my own way.
Okay. All right. Well, doing that, how did you get to start doing festivals and events?
Well, I do festivals and events on different occasions. I'm mainly kind of like a 40 miler is the best way to describe it. Like most of my within 40 miles of me. I would love to do more stuff where I travel because now that I don't have any kids, it'd be easier to travel and such. But I've done several fairs and festivals and events around Florida and even around the country. I've done trade shows, and I've done trade shows in Texas, Seattle, New York, California, and I've done some things overseas for companies too. So I've been to China. I did the Kim Tom International Children's Festival in China with 105 other handpicked performers from around the world. Actually, we had people from Switzerland and Canada and England, Germany. The German people aren't that funny though, but that's beside the point. And other places around. And I also did my own tours when I was teaching my balloon art. I have 6 DVDs that I put out with 64 different tutorials on how to make crazy balloon hats. And when I say crazy balloon hats, mine aren't just like crazy strings kind of going all over the place. My balloon hats actually look like things. So I make swans, dolphins, mermaids, monkeys, lions, tigers, bears, unicorns, butterflies, sharks, dinosaurs. Yeah, I make a lot of stuff.
So you're pretty much self-taught, right?
Well, I'm self-taught to a certain extent, but we all stand on the shoulders of giants. So I absorb a lot of stuff when I go to other balloon conventions and such, and I kind of put my own twist on it. I have a knack for finding a way to make something complicated simple. So when I see my compeers making these crazy balloon creations that...
So you've been doing this, and you've been doing it for years and years and years. So I take it you've had a lot of good experiences. Have you had any bad experiences doing it?
I've had some bad experiences, but I would say I probably have one of the lowest stress level jobs that you can have. The thing that is the most terrible part about doing balloons is when you do it at a fair or festival is cutting the line, because either you need to go to the bathroom, you need a break, it's time to go. And usually when the bounce houses go down, as you know, you just pull the plug and everybody gets out. Yeah, pull the plug on the balloon guy and have him deflate. It doesn't work that way. So there's a bleed-off period. And one of the things that, because I found this to be such a problem, one of the things that I found was necessary was I created my own way of stopping a line. So this actually worked to 2 advantages. Number one, it works good for cutting the line. I have a ticket machine, like the deli ticket machines that you get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So instead of having the toilet paper style paper that they give you in the deli ticket machines, I transferred it out for numbered stickers that are on a roll. So people grab a sticker, they stick it on their shirt. I prefer it on the kid's forehead. It's easier to see. But, and it makes a comedy thing about that too. But everybody has a sticker and a number, and it's a 4-digit number. So the reason I use 4-digit numbers is because I found out really fast 2-digit numbers don't work once you get over 100. Because people start going, well, I have 33. I have 33 too. Wait a second, how do you have 33? Because you gave out 133 tickets. That's why you have 2 33s at that point. But if you have either an alpha numeric number, like it's got a letter and then the number, or you do like a 4-digit number, which a lot of the numerical things are, they'll go up to 1,000. And you can do the 4 digits that way, and it's a lot easier to keep track of everybody and such. So what I do is have a little sign next to me that's a scorekeeper. It's got 4 number slots, and they just flip the little cards over when the numbers come up. I usually call up about 5 to 10 numbers at a time and have the kids sit on a bench in front of me. And then nobody has to stand in a line, because what happens when you have a line? Somebody will always cut the line. So I try to make it that it's fair for everybody. So you can't cut the line if you have a number.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. All right.
Yeah.
So, are you a magician too?
I am a magician. I'm a performing magician. I was the president of the Tampa Bay Magic Club for over 10 years,
Hmm.
and I've traveled around doing magic. When I did my Australian trip, I was actually hired by the Adelaide Magic Society to come down there and do a lecture for them. And I said, well, that sounds great. I'd love to do that, but I'm not going to go to Australia for 4 days and come back home. That seems like a waste of time. So I said, if I make a lecture tour, can I teach balloons and then I'll just do magic for you guys? And they went, that sounds absolutely fine for us. So I taught a balloon, taught my balloons and sold DVDs along the way, from the top of Australia down to the bottom of Australia.
Oh, okay.
There for 3
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah. I talked to a lot of entertainers. I have entertainers telling me they love doing Australia. Must be really nice there.
It is so beautiful, and I'm going to say a really weird thing about Australia. Their sky seems bigger. I don't know why, but the sky seems bigger. I don't know how that is possible, but it is.
Oh, okay. All right. Can I ask you how old you are and how long you plan on keep doing this?
I'm old.
So am I.
Yeah, I found out there's a new generation for my generation, which was cool. Okay, so I was born in 1962, so if people with math skills can figure it out from there. I'm 61 years old is what it is. And,
Okay.
and so my generation from 1960 to 1965 is called the Jones generation. Have you heard of
Okay.
this? You haven't heard of it?
No. No.
All right. So the Jones generation, like you have Generation X and this and that and everything. So the Jones generation, our parents during that time frame were trying really hard to keep up with the Joneses. So
Ah.
it wasn't on the kids, it was on stuff. Because I know Dad always had a bigger, better car, and he was the first one to have a pool in the backyard, and we had a house that was done up like to the nines, and yeah. So Jones generation, that's where I come from, in New Jersey.
Okay, so you're still interested in getting booked, right?
Getting booked? Of course, definitely, yes. Until I'm dead, but my wife seems to have. My wife has other plans. She doesn't want me to do it until I'm dead. She wants me to retire and be a grandpa, and I'm like, no, I'm too young to be a grandpa.
Yeah. I know how that goes. I got people yelling at me too. Just ignore them. They'll go away.
The nice thing is, though, is when I perform and stuff, I don't look 61. I don't have any gray in my beard, and I have dark hair, and fairly fit. I mean, I'm not in the best shape of my life, but I've been worse. So.
Hey, Mark. Younger people have gray hair.
Do they? Well, I dye mine. That's why mine is not gray.
Of course, you would.
Well, I had a mentor, one mentor of mine, Royal Sorrell. He was a balloon artist from the Massachusetts area. He died a few years back. But one of the things that he told me, I was at a convention and I was performing on stage, and he goes, "You need to do one of two things." I go, "Oh, okay, what?" He goes, "Either lose the beard or dye it." And I went, "Why?" And the way he explained it to me, I thought was pretty cool, because he said when you get up on stage and you have gray, like melted gray beard hair and stuff like that. I mean, if it's stark white, fine. If it's stark black or brown, that's fine. But when it's melted like that and you talk, it makes you look like, from the stage, it makes you look like one of those people on Cops where they blur out the face. Because your face becomes a blur. Because there's not, and that's the same reason why clowns wear clown makeup, is so that they could emote from a distance with people. So it's kind of my clown makeup armor, I guess, in a sense, having a beard.
Okay, so how do people reach you if they want to book you?
Oh, a couple of different ways. Well, balloonguy.net, which is my website. That's my most popular website, the one I've had for probably 30 years now. And interesting story about that. You want to hear a story about my website?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, so I went to go get my website, and I'm like going, wow, I can't get .com, darn it. It's like, all right, fine, I'll get the next one down, which was .net at that time, right? Now there's .everything. So I wound up contacting the guy that had mark-byrne@balloonguy.com. And well, I sneakily looked for him on the web, but that's beside the point. And I found him, and it's like, son of a gun, if his first name isn't Mark. Two Mark the Balloon Guys. One's on the East San Francisco area, and one's in Florida. And that's how that wound up. But years later, he went to retire, and he said, "Oh, would you like to buy my website?" I went, "No, now you want to talk to me? Okay, great. Yeah, sure. What do you want for it?" He goes, "I don't know. What do you think it's worth?" I go, $200. And he goes, "No, it's not worth $200. I've had it for 20 some odd years." I said, "Yeah, it's $10 a year." And he said, "Well, I'm going to put it on eBay and sell it on eBay." I went, "All right, fine." So he put it on eBay. I was the only one on eBay on this website, right? So I handed it to my wife. I said, "Listen, I got to go to work, but the auction's going to close in like 5 minutes. Just make sure we stay on, right?" She goes, "Okay, yeah, I got it," right? And she calls me later. She goes, "Mark, I'm so sorry." I go, "What?" She goes, "I lost it." I go, "You lost it? How'd you lose it?" Somebody swooped in last 2 seconds of the thing and took it away. I was like, "Oh, well, I hope they have a good time with that website, whatever." I get a call the next day. It's the guy that bought the website. And he goes, "So you were bidding on that website. Do you want it?" And I go, "Sure. What do you want for it?" $5,000. I went, "Oh." I said, "Guess what? You're going to sit on that website for the rest of your life because nobody's going to pay you that kind of money."
That's right.
Yeah. And I hung up on him. So, and it's still a parked website, to be quite honest with you right now. That's one way to get a hold of me. The other way to get a hold of me is by telephone. Area code 727, which is a Pinellas County area code, 727-742-6713. That number again, 727-742-6713. You can also reach me through Facebook at Mark the Balloon Guy. Is one way of reaching me. Also, I have another website which is called Winking Derby, and that was kind of more of my upscale version of me because nobody ever thinks that you can do everything. You can't do kid shows and also adult comedy venues. Yes, he can. So I have Winking Derby as my other website, and there's a lot of cool pictures of some of the fashion shows and more of the upscale magic events I've done, close-up magic, stage magic, and things like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Where did you learn how to be a magician?
Let's see. I started doing magic at the age of 8 or 9 years old. I did my first professional show at 10, where I got paid, I think, $25.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah, I know. The pay rate hasn't changed much since then.
Hey, Mark, I interview a lot of magicians, okay?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But they do it because they love it, okay? So
my first magic trick was from the Magic Shop in this brand new theme park that they put in Florida in 1975, I think. It's called Disney World. You ever heard of it?
Slightly.
So my first magic trick came from the Magic Shop in Disney World there. And then my parents would go on vacations, a couple of vacations, and they bring me stuff back from Puerto Rico or something like that. In fact, one of the magic tricks that I got from Puerto Rico was by a gentleman called Pavel from Switzerland. And years later, I got to have him lecture at one of my magic club meetings, which was kind of nice. I said, one of my first magic tricks was yours. And he went, uh-huh. I was like, oh, great, thanks.
Okay, all right. Well, I had a really good time interviewing you. Do you want to tell me where you would like to be booked in the United States? Because I cover the whole country.
I love going all over the country. I went to Seattle one time, and I thought it was probably the most amazing place I've ever been in my entire life. And then I started talking to the locals, and they go, "It's never sunny like this here." I caught the 3 days of sunshine in Seattle one weekend, but no, I've traveled all over. I've been to California, I've been to New York, Maine, Canada, New York, New Jersey, North Carolina, Colorado. I'd like to do more stuff in Colorado. That way I could actually visit with my daughter. That would be kind of cool. One of the things that I do at the fairs and festivals I think is a little bit different is the sign that I was talking about with doing signage and having the tickets to give out, which is really good opportunity to be in a virtual line without actually standing in a line. So if you put me next to like a face painter or a character artist or something like that, they can get in their line and be in my line at the exact same time and get two things done at the same time. And none of that anxious waiting stuff or watching people cut in front of you or grandmas with, holding the place for 8 kids that are waiting to get balloons that aren't standing there.
Yeah, okay.
Fun when that happens. But yeah, Colorado would be a lot of fun. My other daughter lives in Indiana. I'd love to do something in Indiana, Indianapolis area. Mainly, just be able to make a family trip and a work trip at the same time. I'd like to explore more of the Midwest. That'd be fun. I have not gotten to a lot of the Midwest areas.
Okay, well, I gotta go. I've really enjoyed talking to you.
Hey, Kay, I'd love to hear about it. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you so much.
All right, thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.